Do you want to go to the quick thing or the versus thing? Let's go to versus.
Let's go ahead and go to verses, and then we'll go to quick.
Get this knocked out. Okay.
Quick's a legend, so we're not about to forget about him in the context of talking about verses. So
T Netty with the super chat says, Push got 7 and below songs. Benny and Game mostly fire. Game had a lot of music on that album. I like the album. And again, y'all know how highly I think of the Black Slim Shady. But Game's album is very tough to rate because it's just so much music and so many features and,
I agree.
And, the thing about Game that's odd when it comes to all of that help, the best stuff be when it's just him, like Home Invasion.
I will tell you this. You want to know what? Here's what I think we should do. I think about our top 10 album list now that I'm just looking at this list. I think we need to do our due diligence and listen to 4 albums to kind of parse out how our top 10 should really go. And that's the Conway God Don't Make Mistakes, the Benny Tanner Talk 4, the Pusha T It's Almost Dry, and the Ransom No One Mourns the Wicked.
I agree with you.
I think we need to listen to those 4 albums and truly decide how those 4 albums fall, because I think that's our 8 to 12 some kind of way, realistically. Unless you think the Armani is better than any of those.
It's not, I don't think. And I like the Armani. I think she did a great
job. The Armani's
job.
Low-key tough, and it's got some staying power to it. You see she just dropped the video for Psych, right? Remember when I was telling you Psych was a banger?
I didn't see that.
She just dropped the video for Psych. I was listening to Psych in my car the other day. Psych's a banger.
WTF SMH. They're saying that's a verse of the year candidate.
It is. The second verse is a verse of the year candidate. Okay. I told you that. Yeah.
WTF.
Like the best 2 verses on King's Disease 3, in my opinion, are the second verse on Mike and Quincy and the second verse on WTF SMH.
Okay. We got Johnny P's Caddy, right?
Yeah, Cole on Johnny P's Caddy. Thought on Aquamarine, the first verse, in my opinion.
I'm with that.
Talib on Peppers.
Okay.
Benny on Blow for Blow.
Yeah.
Trying to think. That's my guy Hub is calling me. Like, hold on one second.
Get some.
What up, Jeff? What up? I'm doing the show right now. No, you're good. You're on the show. This is my man Hub. This 704. This West Charlotte stuff.
What up, Hub? What up?
All right, yeah. Just hit me back. I'll hit you when I'm done. Yeah, I known Hub since I was like a teenager, like 15 years old.
All right, let's face the elephant in the room. God did verse.
Hell, no, it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't even want to give that.
It's not a top 10.
No. The Diet Coke verse. I mean, not the Diet Coke. The neck and wrist verse is better.
Okay.
The neck and wrist verse is better. You understand that, right? The phase I'm on, love, I wouldn't believe it either. I'd be like Jay-Z's. No, that's better than that shit. Like, come on, let's keep it real.
I mean, he was coming at me on that record, man.
I feel like Cole's verse on Stick was like up there too.
Cole's verse.
I feel like damn near everything Cole did this year was up there though.
Yeah.
He was out
Cole's
here.
verse on
what's the other record?
Yeah,
what the London record?
About, the London record.
That's a verse of the year contender too. His verse on the London record, like Cole was out here annihilating niggas this year. He was out here getting busy.
What about Yasin on Stars or Yasin on Yonders?
Yasin on Yonders is a contender. I'll give it that. How many verses we got so far? Because these are just the ones that are coming to me off the top of my head.
Well, these are the ones that I jotted down. I got WTF SMH. I got Johnny P's Caddy.
Yep.
I got Aquamarine. I got Peppers. Yep. I got Blow for Blow, and I got Yonders. Yep. That's 6.
6. Okay.
Let's see what some of the people are saying. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Johnny P's Caddy, Cole's verse is possibly the most technically proficient verse of the entire year. Then Aquamarine's first verse from Black Thought.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Aquamarine's first verse is better than Cole's verse.
What about Lupe on Fox? Fox
yes.
and them.
Yeah. I'm with that. Because
Okay.
I was actually looking for the Lupe verse because there's some stuff on drill music in Zion, and sometimes it's hard to parse between
Oh yeah,
because
it's
he's
just
so
so many
proficient.
bars, so dense.
Well, he's not just dense, but he's proficient, as in like, well, your intellect and your ability to follow needs to be at a certain level. That can be.
God did has to be top 10.
No, it's not, Mike. Stop playing. It's not. It's not a
What
top
about
10
Wayne's
verse.
verse on there?
Huh? Wayne's verse is a top 10 contender. We are not putting that on the top 10, and it's not like this is not a Nas
No, hold on,
channel.
hold on, hold on.
We're not about to put
Why?
respect on that verse like that when the neck and wrist verse is better. And Wayne, this is just like what Kendrick did on Control. It's like niggas was so busy listening to Kendrick, like do a whole 45-second name drop that they forgot the fact that Jay Electronica actually has the best verse on there. It's the same thing going on with this guy did. It's like, well, you spend so much time listening to this guy hijack the whole end of the song that Wayne's actually the one who stunts on here.
So we're gonna go neck and wrist. Jay-Z's verse on neck and wrist, and we're gonna go Wayne's verse on God did.
Now, how about this? When the neck and wrist song came out and people were saying that it was verse of the year, and I was like, no, it's not verse of the year, but it's the best verse that he's done in a long time and deserves to be in some consideration.
Right.
Yes. So this is the best verse since Ghost of Soulja Slim and before it Drug Dealers Anonymous. So it's been a minute because Ghost of Soulja Slim was 2020. Drug Dealers Anonymous is like 2017.
Yeah. It might be a little bit longer than that. I got
So
something.
God did's not
shit.
that. So if you want to put the neck and wrist verse in there, because here's what you really have going on in there: a high level of true literary devices, double entendres. The song's big enough. He's big enough. The things that make him great as an MC, well, he's providing evidence on that record. That God did verse is not evidence of 97.
It's just a very long
96.
verse.
Right. It's just a very long verse. No, neck and wrist is evidence that Jay-Z deserves to be mentioned as one of the greatest, or if you feel that way, the greatest MC of all time. Like, not that God did first. He did not do that. That is some mid.
El Amin says Lupe's second verse on Miss Morale, first of the year. Now.
Oh, yes. Or on Kiosk. What was that, Kiosk? That's what I mean. Like, Lupe got some shit on there. Actually, I was thinking the first verse, well, the technical actual first verse on the last song of Drill Music in Zion. That first verse, where he was like talking about rappers die too much, and then he was like, that was the verse, but he came back and did the verse.
Yeah.
Like that verse.
I was thinking that too. You know what? Too. He might have a couple in there, and
yeah, I think him and Nas were the only people I heard. Him, Nas, and Cole were the people that's like they might have multiple contenders.
Jay Short with the super chat says, if Quick was born and raised in Yonkers instead of Compton, he'd been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He also said that he was heavily involved in Get Rich or Die Trying on the low. I can believe that. I can believe that. 36 Chambers says Cole's London verse would be the third after Black Thought. So we got to jot down Cole's London verse because I'm going to go back and listen to all these verses too.
No. I remember the Cole London verse.
Oh, no, that shit was crazy. I remember that
shit
too.
Crazy. No, I'm cool with Johnny P's Caddy, London, and the Stick verse being in there. He liked that.
Yeah. Yeah, his feature game was crazy.
I'm cool with Lupe's Mural second verse. What's the name of the last song on Drill Music in Zion? Hold on.
Let's see. Yeah. Also, man, I guess featured artist of the year is definitely Cole.
Cole. Yeah. End of story. Raekwon deserves consideration.
Oh,
yeah.
Let's see. Drill Music in Zion here. The last song is, on Fox and them. Yeah. That was the one that, somebody said the second verse of that. And second verse of Miss Morale.
Yep, I'm with those.
Okay.
I'm with those. Yep.
Okay.
Nas' second verse on Mike and Quincy. Nas' second verse on WTF SMH. Thoughts verse on Aquamarine. First verse. Benny on Blow for Blow. Ooh.
What about Malice's verse?
Malice's verse on the last track on Push's album, on his brother's album. What do you think about Killer Mike's verse on on Cheat Codes.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, Killer Mike's verse on Cheat Codes on that song.
I'm gonna
What
go
is
back
it,
and listen to
Strangers?
that.
Is that what it's called, Strangers?
Strangers, yep.
Yeah, his verse on Strangers, that's up there. That is up there.
All right, Killer Mike on Cheat Codes. Esquire with the super chat says, Cole went up another tier on the all-time ranking in this last 3 years from features alone. Yes.
Correct. I'm going to tell you what. Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
You know, a lot of what he does is a business decision in terms of him picking himself as a producer. It is financially and fiscally the responsible thing to do. It is why he has amassed so much wealth in relationship to a lot of his contemporaries who are bigger hit makers. But if he would just stop that for one album and say, fuck it.
Yeah.
And go spend a couple mil like the rest of these guys, I think he would shut this whole Kendrick Cole conversation down. I mean that.
I think at this juncture,
shut this conversation. When I mean shut it down and be like, no, that's the better MC.
I think at this juncture he may do that anyway. I think whatever he's gonna drop next.
Listen to what I'm telling you. Oh, I know he is the better MC. History is not going to read it that way. And this is exactly what I mean. None of us that watch Steph Curry play in his prime and watch Kevin Durant play in his prime think that Steph Curry is better than Kevin Durant. You cannot in clear conscience have watched both of these men play the same amount of time and think that realistically, Mike. But the way the story gets told and written.
Yeah, you're right.
And you understand what I mean about, and listen to what's going on. And this is what I mean about how the story gets told and written. A lot of people don't know what's going on right now. You know, Kevin Durant's only 4 years younger than LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Now he has missed 2/3 of one season because of a Jones fracture in his foot with Oklahoma City, where he literally missed about 60 games. There's obviously the ACL. There's obviously the rehab and the comeback from the ACL. So he's missed about 2 full seasons. You understand by the end of the season, if this man stays healthy, he's going to be about 8th or 9th on the all-time scoring list.
Wow.
By the end of this season, like he literally is climbing by game, because people don't understand when you make it to 25,000, it's real easy to get into the top 10, and then you start getting into that rare air where you start seeing Shaq, Mike, Kobe, Will, LeBron. No, he's right there.
Yeah.
Steph's never even going to sniff that, Mike. You understand that? This man done lost 2 whole seasons.
Yeah.
And if he wouldn't have lost those listen to what I'm saying. If he wouldn't have lost those 2 seasons, he would be on pace faster than LeBron to break Kareem's record. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me that Steph is better. It's like, no, he's played every game this season. You get what I'm saying? He literally is going up by the day. If he keeps scoring at this rate when the season ends, he's going to be 8th on the all-time scoring list. The people ahead of him are literally going to be LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Those are going to be the only guys ahead of him at the end of this year.
36 Chambers with the super chat says, God mid doesn't make the top 20 verses this year. I know that Leroy Green is really mad somewhere right now. 007
Naked
with the super
Wrist
chat.
is a much better verse.
007 with the super chat. Shout out to 007. He says, I submit to you the first verse of Reminisce on KD3. And initially that didn't grab me. Remember on the live listen. He's straight flowing on that. The live listen was cool, man, because we all could be like, well, that other song was cool, and then we went back and played it for everybody else. Like, yeah. That was a perfect album to actually do that for. I mean, I'm looking forward to us doing some more station head live listenings like that, but that was the perfect album to do it, and they delivered.
All y'all talking to Steph stuff. Steph is a year older than Kevin Durant, got into the league a year after Kevin Durant, never going to get close to it, and has not missed the amount of games that Durant had.
What Steph stuff is there to talk about? He's not Kevin Durant.
That's what I'm saying. He's not like they played
He's
together.
He's the best shooter of all time, yes. But as an overall player,
they played together for 3 years. Let's play a game. Who was the man on that team? When that team was stagnant for a bucket, I didn't see them passing the ball to Steph every time that team needed a shot.
When they won their 2 championships together, who was the finals MVP? Both times.
He tried to hand him the MVP in the second one, and they still gave it to him because he fucked around and got a triple-double trying to give it to Steph.
Right.
That's how much better than Steph he is. He tried to give it to Steph, and in the process of trying to give it to Steph, got a triple-double and ended up getting it anyway. That's how great he is. He's a clear top 10 basketball player who ever lived. Like, clear.
Messed around and got a triple-double.
Around and got a triple-double.
In that draft, I remember I was in my homeboy Melvin's house, man, and I remember it was coming down to the final 3, lottery picks. And I was hoping that the Hawks would get number 2 because I knew that whoever got number 1 was going to get Greg Oden. And then Dominique pulled the thing, and we got number 3. And we got Al Horford. I like Al Horford. He had a great career and all of that. But we were literally 1 pick away from getting Kevin Durant. I was like, damn.
That is the type of thing that changes life.
And it changed everything. It changed everything for OKC.
People don't understand this, and I hate the sidebar right quick. That's my issue with Kyrie at the end of the day. It's like, do you know who you're playing with? Like, literally who you were playing with while you're sitting up here doing all this stuff. Do you know how fortunate you are? I want you to understand something. This man literally has gotten to play with the 2 best players of this generation.
Yep.
And he has acted a fucking ass both times.
I rock with Kyrie. He acts
like he's LeBron and KD. Do people understand this? He's gotten to play with the 2 best players of this generation, 2 top 10 all-time players, and all he has done is shown his fucking ass every time.
You got a problem with what Kyrie's doing?
Have you watched? He's playing. When you are playing with somebody like LeBron or Kevin Durant, do you understand that every year that you play basketball with somebody like that, you have a real legitimate chance, not imagine, a real legitimate chance to be the last team standing, and you want to take this time to take political stances? You can't wait 3 or 4 years till his prime is over? You know who you playing with? Like, not who you playing with in terms of the media or the Jewish community. Like, do you know who you were playing basketball next to every day while you were doing this? You were playing with somebody that if he stays healthy, y'all can reasonably beat anybody at any given moment if you don't fuck shit up. What part of that does he not understand as a man at 30 years old?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I think he's finding himself in many aspects. And
Find yourself in the off season. You're a professional. You have a job. You were playing with one of the best people to ever. You know Kevin Durant is Tracy McGrady just 4 inches taller.
And and I love McGrady. I thought McGrady dominated at that 1 or 2 year point where McGrady
used to bust Kobe's ass, Mike.
He did. And I remember when McGrady on Orlando was killing Wizard Michael Jordan, and I was like, man, Jordan need to just sit down, man. I hated to see it.
McGrady was fucking dealing his ass.
McGrady was crazy. Yeah, McGrady was
busting that ass.
And like you said, Durant is the evolution of somebody like him. He's like McGrady and Dirk Nowitzki mixed.
No, he's McGrady with Dirk Nowitzki's size. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
That's not fair. It wasn't fair for McGrady at 6'8". All I'm saying is that professionally speaking, professionally go play basketball while you have somebody like this at your disposal. He's 34 years old. You got another 2-3 years of this, fam.
Well, the thing with Kyrie is the fact
you ain't playing with no damn LeBron or Durant again unless Giannis about to come play with you.
Well, yeah.
Which he won't do.
Well, what I was gonna say is I think it's the fact that Kyrie is able to kind of act like his head's not in the game and still play at the level that he plays just shows you how talented he is. With all of this stuff going on, it doesn't feel like he can even focus on the game. But when he's out there, he's busting people's ass, man. Even with the whole COVID thing. What I'm trying to tell you
is that if he focused in on the teammates and the person that he's playing with, the way he focused on these outside things, they're going to win the championship. He doesn't understand that. Like, you understand him focusing in on the level. How about this? If he focuses on the level that his talents say, well, they're going to win the championship. And they can't even get out the first round. That's not an indictment on Kevin Durant. That's an indictment on Kyrie's focus, intangibles, and lack of leadership not matching his talent. Period.
Mo Better Co. with the super chat.
Durant did better with Westbrook. Think about that. Much better with Westbrook, who can't shoot like Kyrie, can't dribble like Kyrie, can't do the things at the rim that Kyrie can do. None of those things, and Durant went further. That's how bad Kyrie's been. That's how much of a cancer he's been. I want people to see the picture clearly.
Oh my
Russell
goodness.
Westbrook and Kevin Durant had a better run than this.
Let me get to these super chats real quick. Mo Better with the super chat says, Lupe Seattle is still my favorite off the album. I like Seattle too. I love that drill music in Zion. Dope album. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, collecting bread and a mask like I'm a calculus teacher. Eureka. Einstein on the brink of the theory of relativity and really no MC equal. The triple that J. Cole has with that. Johnny P, best line of the year. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Ghostface on the Purple Heart is better than Jay's God Did verse. Wow. Y'all hating on the God Did.
It's not like that. It's just Mike, it's just a good verse.
Sellers with the super chat says, the biology teacher said that we used to be amoebas. The neighborhood preacher said they emerged from the ether. We covered from urethra and struck gold. Eureka. Yeah, give that the black.
Aquamarine.
Aquamarine is crazy.
I think the real verse of the year contender is actually between Johnny P's Caddy and Aquamarine.
That's what it seems like.
The conversation. It seems like that's the combo.
Blue Collar Hustle with a super chat says, Kanye just dropped a song on Alex Jones' show. What?
No, he didn't.
Mad Max with a super chat says, KD ain't top 10 ever. Cut it out. KD is a wing version of Moses Malone. You bring him to your team, and he could take you there, not lead you as the nucleus. Dang.
Moses is a top 20, 25 player while you playing, and
Moses
Kevin Durant's better than Moses. So, know exactly what I'm saying.
Jay Short with the super chat says, K-Dot down now, but Cole doesn't have the imagination or creativity to surpass him all time. Takes more than bar work. I do think that Kendrick is a better songwriter. Well, no, the songwriter thing is evident even on this project. But I mean, even if we look all time, I still think Kendrick's the better song maker and album maker.
Album maker. But when you're saying song maker, it's like, well, go line up Cole's hits next to Kendrick hits. Actually, Cole's got.
Okay, we could do that. I mean, do we need to do a Patreon for that?
I'm actually down for that. I'm gonna ride for Fayetteville and Carolina on that one. I'll take Cole. I'll take Cole versus Kenny.
Okay.
Like on some, yeah.
I think we should do that.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Are we doing like their top 20 songs? Are we doing like singles or like what are we doing? Singles and features.
Best
Cole's got
songs.
a lot of work. Like Cole's got stuff like Crooked Smile. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I mean, I guess song making. I guess we would go with. I don't want to say go with the hits, but you know what I mean. Like the songs where it's about
role
song
models?
making.
Nobody's perfect. Role models. That's what I'm saying. No, Cole.
Wet Dreams, yeah.
Yeah, Wet Dreams, yeah. All that shit. All that.
Mad Max.
What's the joint with Miguel? Power Trip?
Yeah, Power Trip.
That's what I'm saying. He makes more hit singles than Kendrick does. He makes more hit records than Kendrick do. How about that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you right now. It's like single wise, as far as the song making goes, Cole's actually better than Kendrick at actually putting the actual single for mass consumption out. So when you're saying he's a better like songwriter, it's like on the album in context of making the album, but not like as far as like kicking that shit out, not like in a Patreon like versus format. No, this is the records that I just named. What Kendrick records you got outside of All Right?
My auntie is a man now. Mad Max with the super chat says, like all you saying about KD over Steph is you can say for him over Isaiah Thomas. And KD
nobody was better than Isaiah Thomas when Isaiah Thomas played with other people. Nobody.
He said, and KD ain't Zeke from the Pistons. And we talking about top 10. Listen, I'll tell you this. I'm picking KD over Zeke. And I say that respectfully.
I'm sorry, okay, so people have to understand something about basketball. Height matters.
It does.
And so if we're talking pound for pound, Isaiah Thomas and Allen Iverson would be 1 and 2. But realistically, they fall in more like 14 and like 24 on the list. And KD's better than both of them. So
Eric
Like,
Terrell with the
period.
super chat says Stephen A. Coop.
How about this? Look at it like this. If Isaiah Thomas would have played with somebody like Kevin Durant, the way Magic and Bird got a chance to play with people that were like maybe more comparable to Kevin Durant, Isaiah would have never lost to those guys. That's how great Kevin Durant is. You understand? Like, he would have been whooping bad Bird and Magic's ass every year if he would have had somebody like Katie. Caught that smoke every year, not just at the tail end. He would have been busting their ass from the jump. They wouldn't have got shit off of him.